relationship is different, and we know that. Relationships change and they grow, and it's different for every couple. But there are four behavior patterns that usually the majority of couples fall into that need healing. And these four general categories are the ones I see in my practice that do the most damage to couples. Many times it's because of the pattern they're stuck into that they're actually giving this pattern fuel to grow. But sometimes if I just help them see, be more aware of what's happening, they can change it before it ends up ruining or destroying their relationship. I want to go through these four patterns with you today, and let's see if we can begin the steps of healing rather than digging our feet in further and making it worse. Okay, the first problem is a lack of trust. A lack of trust happens for many reasons. Sometimes partners will have a fear of abandonment or whatever, but basically, maybe one of the partners stepped out of line. Maybe there was infidelity on some level, money or an emotional affair or something like that. The cause of it isn't as important as what it presents in the relationship. The partner who is left begins feeling really scared because a fear of abandonment, especially if they came into the relationship with that, they've tried to align and cheat proof or betray proof the relationship from the very beginning with their control mechanisms. And that oftentimes doesn't work. Let's say you're just married to somebody who's jealous. You're with a person that's jealous, and they're jealous for their own lack of confidence, that maybe they see you as being better than them, or maybe they see you being looked at more than they are. Whatever the reason, they can get so entwined in their head with their feelings of jealousy that they can't see over it. When you're a jealous person, you can actually create the cheating or whatever happens that makes you more mistrustful. So what you should do instead, okay, you should determine if the lack of trust is something within you or something that happened with your partner. If your partner stepped out of line or they cheated, then you guys need to talk about it. You need to sit down instead of pushing it under the rug and saying, you know what, this was in our past and now we're going forward. That never works with betrayal. You need to take it apart. And a counselor can help you take that apart. But then you go into relationship therapy with that specific desire. You say, we need help with a lack of trust. And this is where we started going wrong. And then in the case of the betrayal, it would be what the betrayer did. No matter what happens in a relationship to rebuild trust, okay, you have to first figure out if it's coming from inside you personally, from your own past experience, or if it's with this partner. If it's with this partner, then you have to begin restoring what's going to help you feel better. If what's going to help you feel better is for your partner to be more engaged with building stronger boundaries, then that's something the two of you have got to commit to in order to save the relationship. A relationship cannot be done with just one person. I would seek therapy and I would talk to the therapist about what I needed, building on a lack of trust. Okay, blaming and fixing. I have partners who tell me in the counseling session with their other partner that they want me to fix their partner. There is no fixing another person. A person who's going to be fixed is a self job. But when you continually blame another person, it means whatever they did to you was hurtful. And for you to prevent the hurt, you're going to start fixing it. And one of the ways we unfortunately try to fix things is we begin critiquing our partner. When you critique your partner in a blaming situation, when you were hurt in the past, you look for everything they do wrong, not only past, but present, and you tell them, because in your mind, you're thinking this is going to help them do better. They know where they did wrong. It never works that way. When you begin critiquing them and reminding them of where they fall short, they fall shorter and shorter. They go more and more into the shell they have in their head, or they begin getting defensive and blaming you back. You can't fix anything like that. The consequences are it's going to make your relationship a miserable place to be. Instead, what you should do, if you feel like your partner's actions hurt you, then you need to talk about it with them. And once again, a therapist is going to help, because a therapist is going to help you understand what you need to hear. And they're going to help buffer the partner that's being blamed all the time and come back with what that partner is going to benefit from when they hear that, and how to address it with the hurt partner. More than likely, it's going to begin with an apology for hurting you that they didn't know. And I think also, if you begin saying up front more, if you begin talking up front more about your feelings instead of what you think, you're going to be a lot better off. When we say to our partner, I feel hurt, instead of saying, you never do that, and that's just wrong, or comparing them, you're going to end up a lot better off. The third thing, criticisms and put downs. When you are always feeling criticized or put down in your relationship, you begin acting like that weak person that your partner's building you to be. In other words, you do begin feeling lunkheaded, or the insulted words they call you. You do begin questioning your own capabilities. You begin asking them for more of their guidance. You begin asking your partner for more of their advice. And your partner, meanwhile, is feeling like you are weaker and weaker. And that just makes a terrible relationship storm in the relationship. When you're only looking for what your partner does wrong, you're going to find it. And when you start criticizing and putting them down, it won't make you feel better. In fact, among your friends and family, they're going to start feeling bad for your partner. They're not going to take your side. They're not going to be able to validate that you do have a point, that maybe you do have too much on your plate, that your partner isn't helping out. But your partner isn't helping out because you've continually berated them to the point that they feel incapable of that. So what you should do instead is practice mindfulness. You need to get calmer. You need to begin to focus on what you do already have in the present. You have to start calming down, meditating. What do I want? How am I going to get what I want? A lot of it begins by saying I statements. I feel like I'm not getting what I need in this relationship. I feel like I'm the one having to do everything. I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, or whatever it is that's making you criticize or insult your partner. Continually putting someone down looks like you are angry. It looks like you are feeling frustrated, like you have resentment. And you may not see that, but everyone else watching can. It also makes your partner look incredibly incapable, and that's not going to help restore what you need to be taken care of in your relationship. You may want to think too about, what about this person did you expect would be able to heal you from a hurt childhood, perhaps? Sometimes we take our hurts into a relationship, and then we put down or criticize our partner when they aren't able to help us heal. And that was never our partner's job. That was our job. So go to a therapist and talk to them. If you feel like you're the partner always criticizing and putting down your partner, there's a good reason. But it's not going to help the pattern. It's not going to help the relationship if you continue in this pattern. In fact, it's going to do quite the opposite. And the last of the 4 patterns is emotionally distancing. When partners don't know what to do, what they do is they go deeper inside. They just resort to inside, and they try to get away from whatever demand the partner is seeking that they can't deal with. But when you go inside your own head, whether you cope with a book, a movie, uh, gaming, whatever it is you use as a way to go back inside and restore some calm in you, is taking you away from your partner. It's making you less available. It's likely your partner's going to feel lonely. They're going to feel like they're doing everything on their own. They're going to feel like there's nobody to buffer them. When you distance yourself by going inside yourself, you leave your partner open for wanting. They want some engagement. They want to be with you. Their demands go up. And the more they go up, the more you go in. And that's insane. Can you see the pattern? So what ends up having to happen is a couples therapist can help you identify cues when you go inside. And they can help identify cues for your partner of when it becomes an issue for them. Maybe what has to happen is you have to go less inside. You have to stop that. You have to stay present, and your partner has to back up a little bit and present to you in a different way something that they need from you. Can we just sit on the sofa and hold hands today? Can we just take a half hour and go get a coffee? When you start identifying exactly what you need from your partner, and your partner is able to understand their cue for what's making them uncomfortable to emotionally distance, then you can start bringing those two together. If you grew up with a pattern of emotionally distancing when your parent needed you, or you felt like you didn't know how to fit in your family, or you didn't know how to get along with friends, or whatever it was, you will keep that pattern until you love someone enough that when they bring it up that it hurts them, that you won't do it anymore, or you'll modify it. It'll always be a place you like. Will always be a comfort to go back inside. You'll always, if you use a book as a way to escape or distance, or you use gaming, or you use a movie, whatever it is, then you will always feel most comfortable there. But that doesn't mean in a healthy relationship that you need to go there. Nor does it mean that you need to go as much, nor does it mean that you have to go silently. It always works better when you tell your partner, I'm feeling like I need some distance. I think I'm overwhelmed with something. I'm not sure. Can I have 10 minutes for this distance and then come back to you? When partners learn to communicate at that level, then the pattern won't get worse. And you've already intervened. You together as a couple have made an intervention. I really want you to try these interventions, because many times what couples come to therapy for me only takes 2 sessions. And this video is more than 2 sessions. So if you will just align yourself, watch it together, and work on what I've told you about these 4 basic types, I bet you may have other types that you can apply it as well.